assuming I have, let's say, three large, piles of debt. It could be car loans. It could be just credit card. If I'm looking at this and I want to get out of debt as quick as possible, what's your thoughts on that? I want some strategies that one can take to dig out of debt quickly.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. And there's the concept of, the avalanche or the snowball effect of paying down debt. There's different schools of thought on this. And the avalanche or the snowball concept is pay the smallest debt off first. And you do that because it's a psychological win. You pay that off, and then that's one less expense you have to worry about. Then you go to the next smallest debt and debt amount and pay that off as well. And then the money that you use to pay off that debt, now you're using that for the next debt and the next debt. And it's really to build those habits, and it's a psychological win. So you're not feeling pessimistic. You're not feeling down. You're optimistic. It's like, I'm paying off debt.
It's just to see some of that progression, right?
It's to see some of that progression. So that's the idea around it. There is another school of thought on it, and it actually is one that I personally subscribe to. Is that may not be the best solution for everyone. I'm not going to say it's not a good idea. For some people, especially those who need that structure, need to build that habit, and they don't have that self-discipline, that's a good option. That's a good option. But is it the best option? Paying off the smallest balance in theory sounds good, but what if that smallest balance happened to be a low interest, you know, debt, and you have something that's much higher interest? You're servicing debt on everything, and the interest payments on the higher interest payments are draining your cash flow. So, what you want to do, in my opinion, is you want to tackle the highest interest debts first, no matter the balance. You want to pay those off as quickly as possible, so you're not tying up your cash flow. Now, easier said than done. This is where debt consolidation comes into play. And there are some different avenues we can look at for that. But the idea is take your high interest debt, all your high interest debts, and move it into one lower interest payment. Frees up cash flow, pay down debt faster. Still very motivational. You might need a little bit more discipline with that one, but that's where, you know, an advisor can help for sure.
This is where it comes back to what you said about building good credit so that you can get either larger amounts
That's
or
right.
lower interest rates. So you have a vehicle
That's right.
to put into if you need to. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And there are specific products you can look at. Lower interest lines of credit, for example, whether it's unsecured or if it's secured to your mortgage. If you have a mortgage, you get a lower interest that way. There are some companies that offer 0% balance transfer, promotions over a specific period of time. You could look at moving money over to that and whatnot to really try. But again, you have to be disciplined. You got to hammer down those payments, right? You're being given a gift here saying, hey, you know what? Instead of paying 21 or more percent interest, and I'm going to actually talk about that in a second, instead of paying 21% interest, you're going to pay 0% for 12 months. Let's pay that down as quickly as possible, because after that 12 months, that promotion rate's done. All of a sudden, you're paying high interest again, right? It's a trap.
I'm free for 12 months.
Yeah. So, and you're not, right? And that gets me into, the subject of, store credit cards, right? And I'm not going to name specific stores, but we all know them, right? And where they're like, here, don't pay for 12 months, interest-free payments or whatever. And then after that, it's like 30%. And if you didn't pay off that entire balance by the end of the promotion period, they start retroactively charging you that 30% interest going back to day one when you opened up that credit card. Yeah, so it's not like, okay, the 12-month promotion's done, now I'm going to start paying interest. No, 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 no. Nay, nay, right? It goes back to the very beginning. And so you got to be very careful to look at the fine print. I personally, if I'm going to do, a program where it's like you go to a furniture store or whatever, and you're going to get a credit card there, and and they're like, don't pay for. They usually have different options, and the option that I would choose if I had to do this would be pay interest payments, low interest payments. That way, I'm still making the payments, but I know it's done. At that end of that 12-month period or 2-year period, whatever it is, I'm done. So there's no balance left over. I'm still making payments, but just low interest, right?